Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday live stream. And I have to tell you, what an awful day it is. The sentiment is probably the lowest I've ever seen it. And that is with FTX, Voyager, Celsius, BlockFi, and everything collapsing around us, where we had massive depreciation of valuation of markets all across the board. It just seems like today is one of those days where everything comes to a crux. And if you have to say it, it's all over. So it was a good time, Noni. I'm not here to give anybody hopium or do anything that is outside the ordinary. It's looking pretty bad. And that's pretty much how it is. So I'm just going to ask you, if you're here to complain, that's fine. We'll have the Q&A section later, and I'll listen to all those complaints. But just remember that for this time, that it'll probably get much worse than what it is right now. And you have to make that decision for yourself. We've been talking about this the last couple of weeks, which is, do you need to sell and get out? Because I think let's say a good amount of you do, because you're over your skis, especially the ones that are here new. Ones that have been here for a long time, 2-3 cycles or so, maybe not. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your dad, but I'm just telling you, if you need to sell, I need you to sell and get out now. I want you to sell. I want you to sell everything. I want you to sell all your Bitcoin. I want you to sell all your altcoins. I don't want you to come back, because the only time this gets better is when everybody just starts selling. And I'm tired of waiting. So what are you waiting for? Sell and get out. I don't want you here. Anyhow, on to today's show. So look, for the markets, I can see why the sentiment is quite low. Bitcoin broke down 90K, and I knew it broke down 90K because I had a limit order on my Cash App, and I was like, why did it trigger another buy order? I was like, God damn it, is Bitcoin below 90K? I didn't think it was going to happen this fast, but hey, here we are. Ethereum is down 6.5%. XRP. I mean, you guys know what this is. I'm sure you've checked your portfolio today, or at least CoinGecko. And I'm going to tell you some even more bad news, and it's going to get worse. So if you don't want to hear anything else, I don't blame you. You need to leave. But before we get into that, I don't want to talk about the good stuff, which is that there are massive drawdowns even in the bull market. I mean, today we're at a whopping negative 28% from the all-time high, which is pretty bad. But as I'll remind you, we had that pretty much the same thing on 6th of April, 2025. We had that 6th of September, 2024. And then, of course, through the volatility that would be considered, I wouldn't say it's the bear market, but the accumulation phase, massiveness. And then don't forget, in 2021, we had a nice little 49% drop in 14th of July, 2021. I'm not here to give you that hopium. And I'm not here to tell you that, hey, you know, in the last 45 times or so, in 2013, there was 12 pullbacks of 20% or more. In 2015 to 2017, during the bull run, there was 17. 2019, there was 2 pullbacks. 2020, there was 7. And then just for 2 years, we've had 8 pullbacks or 4 greater than 20% over a 30-day time frame. And of course, we take a look here for Bitcoin, 30-day time frame, 19.4%. Not too bad. And I don't want to tell you that, of course, that there's rate cuts potentially coming, and not for sure about December is what Jerome Powell wants to do. We're seeing that quantitative tightening is ending, meaning that the Fed is not offloading their balance sheet, just like we saw during the good times when it was flat in 2017, or they were putting it on their balance sheet in 2021. And of course, they're really doing the same thing. And I don't want to tell you about the money supply, because that's been done to death, and it frankly just isn't correlated right now. I'm not going to tell you all that good stuff. I'm here to tell you the bad stuff. And the bad stuff is BlackRock just sold more Bitcoin than it has ever done before. Congratulations, everybody. You're getting dumped on. And that is by Arkham. Congratulations. Now, we know that these retail, because it's retail and some institutional investors. There's 3 classes. There's retail, advisory, and institutional, hedge funds and sovereign wealth funds and all those things. And they're dumping like crazy today. Have fun. And it's going to keep happening. And then taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow, did you know, and we talk about this almost like every other day, if not every day, that we've had negative outflows for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, oh, it's 14, 2 weeks. Over 2 weeks where we only had 3 positive days. And outflows have been insane. Look at 13th November, 866 million. I think that was the second highest. I think the highest was almost 1 billion plus. And then yesterday, just 372 million. So what do you think today is going to be? It's going to be awful. I need you to get out. I need you to sell everything. I need you to get out right now and, see when you come back. But as a reminder, I'm not here to tell you the good stuff, which is, there still is around 58,000 Bitcoin accumulated, even though they're offloading. That means that the 58,000 Bitcoin are still, summed up with the different retail and advisors and institutions. But I will remind you, here's some more bad news. Midterms are coming up for the U.S. presidency, or the U.S. election cycle, I should say. Donald Trump got elected in 2024. And in 2 years, we have this midterm when everybody starts to vote for Senates and House of Representatives. And I will tell you, there is a slim lead to the Republicans. And I think that Democrats are going to win or become more of the majority. And if that happens, there's going to be an impeachment. And there's going to be an impeachment of Donald Trump. I'm just thinking out loud here. And if that happens, the markets will totally tank. So 2026 is not shaping up to be a good year. Here's the example I've given before. I'll let you know. Is that during the midterm year, this is when everything goes down the tubes. 2025 is our savior. 2026 is our dumper. But we're going into 2026, and I don't see any more of a recourse. So again, I need you to get out now. And then as a reminder, shout out to Zoo for pointing this out to me as far as like all-time low to all-time highs and the days between. He was a little bit off in his numbers, but he's pretty darn close. And as a reminder, from the lows to the highs throughout the last 3 cycles, going from 2015 to 2017, from the low to the high, it took 1,067 days. But you get 112x return. That's pretty good. I mean, not bad from when in 2015 when Bitcoin was like $182 and it went to 20,000. Pretty good. And then the next cycle, it took 1,059 days. So just about 8 days or so, somewhere around there. And it went from 2000, I guess the low was 2000, what was it? 2018, excuse me. So you had 1,059 days and it was 21x ROI. And then if we hit the top, which a lot of people are starting to say now it was the top, October 6, 2025, it was an 8x and that was 1,062. So what's more likely? Is it more likely that the lows to the highs, 1,067, 1,059, 1,062 is correct? Or do you think it's still going on? As of today, that's 1,106 days. I'm just saying. And then also, if you want to take from the highs to the lows, 2013 and 2015, that was 410 days, which is kind of like the outlier. From December 2017, December 2018, from the high to the low was 363 days. And this recent one was 376 days, the 2022. So what does this say to you? This says that if we did top, you've got a full year of waiting around to get to the bottom. So again, I'd like you to sell. And then if that doesn't convince you, there's another guy named Mike McGlone from Bloomberg Intelligence. I'm not going to play it, but he pretty much just says he's been calling for Bitcoin to go to zero, like we hear a lot of things. But he did make a good point about how with gold, as it rallies, it kind of signals to that there might be something very darker on the horizon. And we can know that the gold price has done quite well over the last year or so. What have we, year to date, what are we up? 55%. You know what the year to date for Bitcoin is? It's like negative 3%. So I'm not going to play that, but that's pretty much what he said. But I will say, for a point of contention, this is Dave Weisberger, former chairman of CoinRoutes. He says, look, Mike's been saying this for several years. He still owes me a steak dinner for betting Bitcoin would hit 15,000 before it hit 40. I agree when Bitcoin was around 27K. I'm ignoring the fact Bitcoin didn't drop that last level despite multiple forces. And he talks about it like, look, he can say it all he wants to. It's not going to zero. It's going to do just fine. It's going to recover. And this got me to thinking. If Dave can call out Bloomberg Intelligence Mike McGlone, don't forget that there's a site called Bitcoin Obituaries. It's over at 99 Bitcoins. Bitcoin has died 477 times. And it'll recover again, just like we talked about when we could see that We can see the price drawdowns and how low it goes, and everybody's freaking out, which is fine. You know, it is what it is. People get scared. But just remember where we're at. And just remember that just because this is a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, doesn't define the entire existence of the best, I think, performing asset class of all time. Not the past year, obviously. That's what it is. And also remember that if people can get it wrong on the downside, they can also get it wrong on the upside. There's a video I put out where I talk about how every single person who did a price prediction in 2021 was 100% incorrect. So if all the smart people can get it wrong on the upside, all the smart people can get wrong on the downside. And that's why I have the rules above me, or below me, I should say, which are very simple. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. 0% exchanges, or don't leave them on there. Don't use leverage, and take profits. And that's it for today. So look, I know that wasn't the video that you probably wanted, but maybe it's the video that you actually needed. So again, I can't give you financial advice, but if you think it's time to sell, I need you to get out of this market. Me personally, I'll be sticking around for quite some time, and I'll be continue to buy. But that's just me. And don't do what I do, because what I do, I don't think some of you can do. And that's it. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you. Now let's get into a little Q&A, and we'll go from there. Sigh. Yeah, I know. What are you going to do? Sometimes you got to be a jerk, you know, like sometimes you got to be the dad. Be like, look, I hear you. I know that you're worried. I know that it is. So let's just play it out. This is what I'm doing. This is what you're going to do, what you could potentially do. And I need you to pull the trigger. And that's it. All right. Damn it, Rob, you're on a roll with bad news. Only end up with a good one. Hey, you know, you got to get balance. I can't give everything like it's the worst thing of all time and not, you know, give you with a glimmer of hope. Because, I mean, all that stuff in the beginning when I was talking about it, I mean, it is bad. I mean, for what we see. And of course, you can see your portfolio like, damn, that sucks. But, you know, I said the same thing in 2018. I was like, damn, 60% down. That's ridiculous. And then in 2020, and I'm like, how the heck did Bitcoin go down to $3,000? Anyhow, now here we are again. It's the same thing. Just always is. And it just takes time. So sometimes it's good to trim the fat, you know? Like, do you ever have friends, people around you, colleagues who constantly drag you down and like, you're not going to make it. This is just too difficult to do. You know, if you do that, it's going to lead to disaster and this, that. You're like, you know what? Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Shut up and just go away from me. And that's hopefully what we do. We have to trim the fat. We have to trim the negativity, and we have to keep pushing forward. If we would have just pulled the plug in 2020 and just said, hey, everybody get out, that, you know, you think that you got to sell, it would have been a hell of a lot better. And that's it. Carlos says I leverage. Carlos, that's okay, man. That works out for whatever you want to do. So maybe it works out well for you. Let's see. My limit orders on AVAX and Link filled this morning. I'm staying. Let's see. Sovereignty, I'm selling into big profit. That's good. Wasn't as good as I hoped. Got rugged in alts, but I walked away a winner. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Cosmos says BlackRock aren't selling. It's their clients that are usually scared. Cosmos, remember, I did a video on this. If you search for digital asset news, ETFs, we go over the different variety of people that invest into the BlackRock ETF. Did you know that BlackRock does hold shares of their ETF on their balance sheet? I'm not for sure that they're not selling. And remember, yes, it is their clients, right? They have retail clients, which apparently make up the lion's share of what it is. They have the advisors and they have the institutional investors. And they also have themselves. I'm curious to know if anybody knows, unless we have to wait for the filing with the SEC, of how much they sold of their ETFs. Because remember, again, they hold it on their balance sheet. You can watch the video. I point you to the links, show you where it's at. I think it's actually for the filings of the SEC. So yeah, we'll see. Meme says, no leverage means I'll sleep better at night. That's good. I mean, look, if you have too much stress, what does that lead to? Poor health. What does poor health lead to? Cancer. What does cancer lead to? Unfortunately, awful things, because we have very poor outcomes with certain types of cancers. So make sure that you're healthy, right? That's why, like, today I'm trying to get rid of everybody that can't stand it, so they can not have so much stress. Trying to save their lives, apparently. No is what I wanted. Perfect. Refuse to watch this video given the title. Why did you even show up? What's your opinion on alts? My opinion on alts, been the same thing for about a year or so, which is we're not going to have an alt season per se, but the alts that actually do stuff, which I still think that the killer app is payments. And you just take a look at the rails of what the top stable coins are built on. Binance, Ethereum, Solana, and Tron, the BEST. And from there, I think those will do quite well. Jimmy, I'm here for a reality check. That was it, Jimmy. I hope you caught it. Rizwan says, I just realized I applied all your rules in my first cycle, apart from take profits. I'll wait 4 more years to take some profits later. Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Larry says, I sold all my honors, but I'm keeping my Bitcoin. Robbie's thinking to the end of the year. Yeah, because I was supposed to stay as I laddered out and started to sell. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. I didn't sell near as much as I was supposed to. I did have to sell a chunk. This was like a year ago because I had it was a great opportunity. I mean, for an apartment complex and real estate is great because it gives you money flow. And I sold a chunk because I had to get into that deal. Now thank God it did. At the time, I wasn't too happy, but I was like, now I'm like, pretty good. Let's see, Jose, stimulus money incoming. We'll see if Trump does that. I'm still waiting for the Epstein files to get released totally and not redacted so we can move on. I'm trimming Rob and keeping Bobby. That's good enough. More things you just, alt season just told you. Weak people every these days. No, I don't think that the people that have to sell are weak. I think the people that sell at this point are actually quite strong. Hear me out. Everybody has that muscle to buy dips, dollar cost average, value cost average. You can do that in your sleep. You can do that 10%, 20%, 50% down. It's very difficult to sell. And it's very difficult to kind of give up on your dream of whatever that dream price action was. To say, you know what, I need this for my kids, I need this for my family, I need this to pay bills. That takes strength. So I'm not here to condemn anyone. I'm here to give them the A-okay. And if I have to be the A-hole to be that guy, like F that guy, I'm going to sell. Great. Let's see. Ron, how many alts have you exit? Not many. I'd say not near enough. Yeah, we're doing good. Rob, did you take probably undershirt? No, it's just ironed. Look at that. Very nice. Let's see. We are all. Did you say you were leaving now, Rob? No, Larry. So again, what the idea was is to sell and ladder out during the blow off top, which was supposed to be Q4. And who knows, we might actually get a blow off top towards the end of the year. It's looking less and less likely, but we'll see. And then it was for me to sit out until the bear market came because nobody needs you in a bull market. I'm actually going to revise that. I think more people need you in the bull market to cram it down their throat to take some profits. But the idea was to ladder out, sell, sit out until the monstrous bear market, then come back and go, this is where all the money's made. Didn't work like that, which is just like how life is. Jimmy says, fear and greed indicator is telling us to buy. Do you know how low it is? I think it's at a 9. Let me see. It is at a, whoa. Let me pull this up. It is at an extreme fear 9. Wow. I guess people are losing their marbles. Well, see, if you sell, you don't have to worry about this. And then come on back. Let's see. Flagrantly obtuse, which is a pretty good title or handle. So no possibility with regulations, Clarity Act, M2 money supply at all-time high, multiple countries starting quantitative easing. And, don't forget, quantitative tightening is ending. And as far as the Fed and their balance sheet, is there really no way we continue the bull? I am flabbergasted as to how we are not into this monstrous bull cycle unless the crypto market is front running the traditional stock market. And with everybody that is worried about this AI bubble, can't swing a dead cat without hitting an AI bubble content. That's probably what it is. They're like so tepid and timid. Like, I gotta get out. And then of course, with Peter Thiel and a couple of other big players selling their NVIDIA stock, it makes the case. So I think that's really there's a big number of that. Also, we've seen some unemployment numbers and some people getting fired that are not looking too good. We could help that if we drop rates, but I don't know if that would be enough to keep going. Let's see. And what else? Gasper, I said this 3 times. Maybe I'm not down far enough. Joe asks, what was the fear and greed during COVID? That's a great question. Let's go tiptoe into this website and steal as much data as we can. Okay. This didn't happen, right? We were not into the CRYPTOVERSE website stealing information. Let's see here. So I want to say March, April, May, somewhere around there. Let's just isolate here. What the heck is this? Wow, look at this. So coronavirus, COVID, whatever, you can see that we were doing pretty good as far as neutral in February, okay? Can everybody see this? And then I think we started to hear about, there's a new strain of avian flu in China. Now it's bird flu. What the heck is this new thing? We don't know. People are dying. This is awful. This is awful. And it's coming to the States and it's going to kill everybody. It's going to wipe out 50% of the entire world. And the fear index was the exact same, 9. Oh my goodness. Well, I take it at 8, 11. Did it go below 8? And then, of course, we were on. So look at that. The fear and greed index, we are as fearful now as we did when we thought 50% of the population was going to be wiped out and it was going to be like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, where mutants would be in these massive, huge tank trucks and killing everybody. And now we're worried about an AI bubble. Sweet Mary and Joseph. Go. You can't make this up. Good question. Impressive. No. Mary says, maybe this is a stupid question, but hi, I'm new to your channel and to Bitcoin. What do you think about buying it through ETFs like blocks and BTCI? First of all, Mary, if this is your first day on my channel, I have to apologize. I'm not usually that much of an a-hole. I don't know what blocks or BTCI is, but as far as like ETFs and where I would get something, I would stick with the more universally known, which would be BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, ARK Invest, Invesco, Franklin Templeton, Valkyrie, Van Eck, Wisdom Tree. I'm not a big fan of Grayscale, but those for sure. Hey, you know what else I'd like to show you guys? I forgot to talk about this. ETF flows as far as Solana, no outflows, all positive. Interesting, right? Interesting. What about Ethereum flows? How's that doing? About as good as Bitcoin flows. 1, 2, yeah, only 2 days out of 14. 10th of November doesn't count. Everything's been red. But on the bright side, where is the amounts? It doesn't show it. Well, as far as like dollar amounts, as far as Ethereum, 17,773 million. So even though it topped out 17th of October, not too bad. I'll take it. So anyhow, Mary, welcome to Digital Asset News. Can sometimes be a jerk, I guess. Oh, blocks is Roblox. Why would you want to do an ETF on Roblox? Have fun with that. I don't know. Going to have to add XRP to that list? Maybe so. Oh, cutie. I sold everything but my Bitcoin. I watched my account bleed $12,000 the past 2 months. No more. Took what I had left and paid off credit cards. There we go. Now we're talking. It didn't go to the moon, but I have less debt. And you know what? You can sleep better at night, and that's the big thing. I will take that any day. When banana. You have to ask Raoul Powell. Apparently, he's doing a live stream and drinking on it tonight. So check it out and ask him. No blocks is not Roblox. Okay. My bad, it isn't. And thoughts on Sol ever to go back to 200 this cycle? It's not, as far as like this cycle, maybe this cycle is over. I don't know. Maybe our all-time high. Maybe we're just going to keep grinding down for 365 days, 378 days, or whatever it is, until we hit a new bottom. And during that time, you know what happens? Bitcoin decreases, but you know what happens to altcoins? Oof, they massively get crushed. Massively. So, yeah, you might want to sell that too. It's up to you. Bob's in. DCA, ignore the noise. Raoul Powell keeps moving the goalpost. Yeah, but, you know, that's how it goes. And that's it. Everybody, I think that's, you know, I'm going to leave it with Charles. At the end of the day, no one knows. They are convincing cases for bull and bear. We can all predict, we can all use data, but in the end, everybody's out here throwing you the most educated guesses they possibly can do. And that's it for today. So look, I think you know what you need to do. You've known it for a long time, and it's time to pull the trigger, which way that is. I'm not here to stop you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to give you the information that I possibly can. Tomorrow, we'll be doing NFA Live with Ben and Guy from Coin Bureau and in the Cryptoverse. And we'll ask them the question. But if you watch their channels, you pretty much know where they're going. But that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, which I doubt highly, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. But that's it for today, everybody. I do appreciate you stopping by and chatting and talking. It will get better. Just going to take time. That's it for tonight. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you guys on the next one.